Hi, I'm Sara Koonar from AdornMagazine.com, and I'm here at the Brill Building in Toronto to interview Jessica Biffi, who you may know from Project Runway Canada Season 2. Jessica just showed her Spring-Summer 2010 collection a couple weeks ago at the LG Fashion Week tents. You graduated fashion school 3 years ago, right?
3 years ago, yeah.
Did you expect you would be where you are today?
No, not at all. I mean, when I graduated school, I was like, okay, look, when you're 25, like you need to be doing either starting something or kind of like working for someone. You need to start making your move because it's only 5 years away from 30 and you need to be like an adult by then, okay? So here's the plan. But 25 rolled around and I was like, okay, so you're still working off school debt and you're still working in retail, which wasn't a horrible job, but it wasn't, it wasn't as connected to the industry as I wanted to be. And then the opportunity came out for the show, so I applied for first season, didn't get it, and then the second season came out, and I was like, well, I'm just going to apply again. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is they say no, and then all of a sudden I'm runner-up and showing at Fashion Week. So, yeah, I mean, 3 years ago, if you told me that this would be happening right now, I'd be like, you're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, it would be awesome if it happened, but I had no way of knowing that this was going to happen so quickly.
Exactly. Because of the show, do you feel like because so many people know who you are and have seen your work that people have a lot more expectation for you than other Canadian designers?
I think there's like that, what is she going to do next kind of thing? And I felt that specifically with Spring just because it is my first collection after the show. So I felt a little bit of pressure because there was a little bit of a I need to deliver kind of thing. And that's why I did the type of show that I did, because I wanted it to be very much a theatrical sort of presentation. And it was about the clothing, but it was more about the attitude and the branding behind it, because it was my very first show after Project Runway. So I just wanted it to be like, Biffi's here, and like in your face and aggressive, and just kind of like make the splash, because you only get your first, your first dance, your first time, right? So I just wanted to like put it out there and have everyone sort of take notice. And
so you call yourself goofy and dorky and you don't like taking yourself too seriously. Has that kept you grounded? Because you have fans.
Yeah, I got like fan attacked on the way here, and she was like trying to find her camera, and I was like, I'll hold your coffee, because she had like a coffee in her bag, and I was like, I'll hold that, and she's like, oh my God, you're holding my coffee, and I was like, yeah, it's just a normal person, like you just really want to take a photo of me, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Like, yeah, I don't get too caught up in the hype. I mean, it's exciting, and I'm really into the fact that, things like this happen now, whereas they didn't before. But I'm just gonna keep being me, because that's what got me to this point, and that's how I design, is being myself and not sort of getting wrapped up in the hype. Because once you start to believe the hype, you kind of like goes away after that.
Well, I noticed music was a big part of your show. Loved the Jay-Z at the end.
I thought it was pretty fitting. I was like, as soon as I heard that track, I was like, oh, that is what everyone's going to come out to, and that's what I'm going to come out to. Yeah, so I was really excited about that.
Does music inspire your collection anyway?
I listen to music pretty much 24/7, and especially when I'm working, because it keeps me motivated, keeps me going, and keeps me like up into the long hours. If you put like a dance track on or a nice hip hop beat on, you're like, okay, I could totally sew until 4 a.m. But if you were just kind of sitting there in the quiet, you would probably totally pass out. Music plays a big influence just because it's what I listen to, and that's kind of what draws me to different things. Like, I was listening to a lot of hip hop when I did the first collection, and then with the spring collection, I was kind of just all over the place, and I was doing a lot of stuff with my computer, and I was listening to a lot of things that had sort of like a digital kind of sound in the background. So that's kind of where all of it started to spawn from. And then I brought in the graffiti element to it as well.
Right now, we have a sort of economic situation where it's not really easy for a lot of new lines.
No.
So how have you coped? I know you had Project Runway behind you and great sponsors. So what kind of advice would you give to up-and-coming designers?
Well, I mean, take the chances where you can. It's never going to be a good time as a new designer to start, and I mean, it's a good time for me because I have the momentum from the show behind me, which is great, which helps a whole lot, but it's always going to be hard when you're a new designer. So take the chances when you can get them, when you can partner up with, great sponsors. That's a great thing. Like, I had some really amazing sponsors for the show. I had Design and Conquer did my earrings, and Corktown Jewelry supplied us with all the bangles, and oh my God, Cake or Death did these like little cupcakes for the front row. Weren't they amazing? And they were graffitied. She did such a great job. So, do those. I mean, and who would think, a cake sponsor would be at a fashion show, but like, it's unexpected, it's fresh, it's fun, it gets you, it gets people to take notice in different ways. So whenever you have a chance to do something, like, go for it.
So you just showed your spring, but we are in fall winter now. What are your must-haves for fall?
A scarf. I always rock a scarf, whether it's spring, summer, fall, winter, but they get a little bit more practical in the winter time. They actually like keep you warm. Boots. I'm loving the like over the knee boots. I just looked at a pair this morning online that I'm totally going to order when I go home. But yeah, like I love fall winter is my favorite. I think it's really going to show in my fall winter collection when I'm starting to design that like next week. So it's really going to show that there's a strong love for it. But like layers, like you can do nice thin gauzy pieces like over top of more and more, which I really like. So I'd say a cardigan, over the knee boots, and a scarf, and you'll be good to go for fall winter.